A final salute to those 6 U.S. service members killed in that attack in Kuwait. As for sending in ground troops, again, he's not saying one way or another. He has ruled out, though, sending in those Kurdish fighters. A lot of reporting about that last week. He has ruled that out completely.
America's listening to Fox News.
History isn't just in textbooks. It's the story of us, the United States. 2026 marks 250 years of America. And throughout the year, Bill Hemmer takes listeners on a journey through the 250 most impactful moments in American history. From the spark of revolution to the battles for freedom, the ideas, inventions, and decisions that changed the world. The 250 most impactful moments in American history podcast. Listen and follow now at foxnewspodcasts.com.
You never know who might be taking the quiz.
Hi, everyone. It's Candace Cameron Bure.
Hey, everyone. It's Phil Sims.
It's Dolores Catania.
Hey, everyone. I'm Kix Brooks.
It's Candace Bushnell.
I'm Rob Paulson.
I'm Ryan Serhant.
Hey, everyone. I'm Nicole Palizzi.
Hey, everybody's Kevin Nealon.
What's up, guys? It's Nia Sue, and it's time to take the quiz.
5 questions in less than 5 minutes every day. Listen and follow at thequiz.fox.
A Pennsylvania state trooper is dead after a traffic stop turned deadly in Chester County. Fox's Ted Lindner with more.
Authorities say Timothy O'Connor was shot Sunday night while conducting a stop in West Callan Township near Compass and Michael Roads. Shortly after 9 p.m., officials say the veteran trooper later died from his injuries. At a late-night briefing, Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro made the announcement.
Corporal Timothy O'Connor was killed tonight doing what he's dedicated his life to, and that is serving others, keeping our community safe.
Local leaders are now mourning the loss, with Chester County Commissioner Eric Rowe thanking officers who he says put their lives on the line every day. Police say the suspected gunman exited his vehicle after fatally shooting the officer and shot and killed himself. The investigation continues. Ted Lindner, Fox News.
Violence at protests outside the mayor of New York City's home this weekend. The NYPD is looking into an explosive device that was tossed by a counter-protester as a far-right influencer led a demonstration against a so-called Islamic takeover. Fox's CB Cotton is there with the details.
Fox has learned from high-level sources the IED thrown near the mayor's home by a counter-protester contained a powerful explosive called triacetone triperoxide, or known as TATP. The initial protest was called, quote, Stop the Islamic Takeover of New York City, Stop New York City Public Muslim Prayer, end quote, and was organized by individuals associated with pardoned January 6 participant Jake Lang. Emir Balat and Ibrahim Qayyumi are reportedly in federal custody and now being interviewed by the FBI in connection to the devices. A source tells us both are U.S. citizens. A second device was recovered at the scene and is still being analyzed.
Mamdani and his wife were home at Gracie Mansion at the time, but they were uninjured. I'm Sue Guzman. This is Fox.
This Lent, KFC Guam is your place for Lent with the largest selection of seafood favorites on the island. Enjoy the shrimp burger, wasabi fish sandwich, crab salad wraps, wasabi fish wraps, and island-inspired shrimp kelaguen. Craving something crispy? Dig into breaded shrimp, breaded fish fillet, and popcorn shrimp, or go all out with satisfying seafood dinners. So many choices, all made just right for the season. This Lent, choose variety, choose flavor. KFC Guam, it's finger-licking good.
Get double the speed at zero extra cost with GTA Fiber. Experience super fast and reliable fiber internet speeds, now starting at 200 Mbps to 1 gig, with upload speeds just as fast as download speeds and 100 times faster than cable internet. You can enjoy lag-free gaming and clear video calls. Fast is also affordable. Sign up for Fiber 200 for only $70 a month. Visit GTA.net or call 644-4482. Terms and conditions apply.
It's time for Half a Day Friday at the Agana Shopping Center. Every Friday through March at the Center Court, celebrate the island spirit with local vendors and cultural performances. Create a marmar, learn traditional weaving, or jump into a mixed fit class, all for free. Sellers, if you have handmade crafts or food, reserve your spot. Call 472-5027 or visit the Agana Shopping Center. Biba! Biba, Mets tomorrow. See you at the Agana Shopping Center.
The views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
It's 1800 hours and 7 minutes time for Veterans with Benefits with your host, Anthony Tyrone, Karina Ballista, and Ray Shinahara.
All right, welcome back. Welcome back, veterans. As always, want to start our show with thanking our sponsors, Ambrose Inc., American Legion, Post 1. Don't forget, Steak Date every second Saturday. Hebzibah Family Medical Clinic, veteran-owned, 11Z's, right behind the radio show. I think I'm having raspberry tea today, and they have these cool new things. They're called tea packets. So it's dehydrated fruit, and you just add it into your tea.
Does it actually make a difference?
It tastes good. I think so. We're going to introduce our guest later. And then don't forget, they offer 11% discount for all military and veterans. Domino's. Nobody knows like Domino's. Domino's Pizza, Anthony?
Oh, that's right. Have we tracked Dean yet? Down yet?
We're still looking for him.
He's MIA. But he's probably in Domino's somewhere.
Yes.
Dean, give us a call.
We'll find him one day.
We need your help.
Yes. JTC Services, veteran-owned, the most services, also veteran-owned with Rob Jackson. Master Blasters for all your blasting needs. And the veteran nonprofit organization that we're a part of, HMI. And then Guam Junk Haulers, also veteran-owned. You can call them at 671-788-JUNK. Send them a picture of your junk. Okay, that's funny, but you have to watch their Instagram, okay, to get the joke. Yes. And then Loco Jerk, also veteran-owned, with Mr. Marvin Crisestimo there.
Oh, yeah. What's up? That guy's a jerk. He's the local jerk. We love him.
Be nice to him.
Yes.
You're listening to Veterans with Benefits on 93.3. You can call into 671-888-TALK. And my favorite part, Veteran of the Week. Veteran of the Week is Thomas Vergerger. Today we proudly recognize Thomas Vergerger for his honorable service to the United States Army and his commitment to duty, discipline, and the protection of others. During his military service, Mr. Vergerger served as a military police soldier, MOS 95 Bravo, a role that required professionalism, integrity, and the highest standards of conduct. As a military police soldier, he was entrusted with maintaining law and order, protecting military personnel and property, and ensuring the safety and security of the installation and those who served alongside him. Mr. Vergerger successfully completed the military police course, a rigorous 16-week program designed to train soldiers in law enforcement operations, security procedures, and military justice. His dedication to excellence was further demonstrated through his outstanding weapons proficiency, earning the Expert Qualification Badge with Rifle M16. Also, Expert Qualification Badge with Grenade and Qualification with the .45 caliber pistol. In recognition of his faithful service, Mr. Vergerger was awarded the Army Service Ribbon, and he completed his active duty service with an honorable discharge, reflecting his commitment to the values and traditions of the United States Army. Through his service, Mr. Vergerger demonstrated dedication, courage, and a strong sense of responsibility. His contributions brought credit upon himself, the United States Army, and the community he represents. Today, we honor him for his service to our nation and thank him for his sacrifices in defense of freedom. Veteran of the Week, Thomas Vergerger.
All right.
All right.
Congratulations. Be sure you go get your pizza. If you don't want your pizza, you can always give it to Ray or I. We'll eat it for you.
All right. Did you want to say hello?
Yes, I wanted to say hello to Knox, Aaliyah, and to my mom.
All right. So we're just going to forego the tip of the week because I know we have a lot to share about, all the new changes. So I guess we want to start with, Jose, you have something to say? Yes? No? Okay.
Introduce our guest?
Yes.
A man who needs no introduction. Go ahead and introduce yourself, sir.
I thought you said I didn't need an introduction.
Exactly.
Well, my name's Jordan, Jordan Pauloon. So if you see it, it's one of those funny names. I always like to say that it rhymes with typhoon. So I'm a lawyer here in Guam. I am not a veteran, but I also take a lot of pride in helping people in general, including veterans, navigate healthcare systems, insurance, and things like that. So I am always happy to talk about these things and sit down, because I think that this is one of the areas in legal support that we actually don't provide enough support for our veterans and other things when they get out, actually navigating the legal systems and structures that they need to get their benefits. We kind of just go, just turn in some paperwork somewhere, and it's actually really complicated type of stuff as well. So, but I'm a lawyer here. I've in private practice now, but worked for the Attorney General's office before, worked for Guam Memorial Hospital Authority, even moved out to Guam to work for the Guam Supreme Court for a few years as well. So
Very good. Thank you. Welcome. I think earlier we were talking about a few things about how your job might be, your previous job, right, was something that had some tie or nexus to veterans, right? What can you tell us about that, just from a very general overview?
So, well, being at Guam Memorial Hospital, we are the only full-service acute care facility in Guam. That's that the GMH services the whole island, and whether I'm working there or not, it's still the hospital that we all got, right? And so, other hospitals take a lot of people to come through the door, but for the full panoply of acute care services, GMH that's it.
Yeah.
And so you end up getting a lot of veterans cases in there, and a lot of times people come in and they don't necessarily know how to navigate the payment system. You're going to get the same care whether you're a veteran or not, but there are some unique things in processing payments, insurance, and benefits that veterans don't always understand, particularly when it overlaps with things like retiree benefits, maybe from Gov Guam, or you're also on some other program like Social Security and Medicare, or if you also have a disability policy as well, and things like that. That there is a lot of overlap that needs to be navigated.
And all of that is taken care of over at your business department, right? Or as far as how these things get paid, who bills who, so
so there's a business department, and whether it's GMH or GRMC, there's a business department at every hospital that actually takes care of taking insurance information and processing your information, and then eventually sending you a bill. But they usually go and bill your insurance company first.
Right.
So the number one thing I can tell anybody, particularly veterans, when you come to the hospital, make sure you have all of your health insurance information, and make sure that you give it to those people from the business office that come in during your registration. It'll either happen before you enter if you're there for an elective non-emergency procedure, or if you go in to the emergency room, any emergency room, they will process you either before or once or after you're already admitted. But make sure you have your insurance information for all of your plans, not just your veterans one, not just your Social Security or your Medicare. Make sure you bring all of them and turn in everything that you have, because then the business people at the medical institutions can actually help you process it and get payment done correctly.
Now the hospital, there's a lot of talk about there's services that are lacking and so on and so forth. It's not your top hospital like you would at maybe, I don't know, John Hopkins, for example, or wherever it is that the president goes, right? I mean, our hospital is ours. It's what we have and what we use. So with regard to veterans specifically, do the veterans have a advocate that's there for them? Or, when they walk in and they say, hey, I'm a veteran and, I might need some of these services, veterans are a different kind of people sometimes, right? If you're talking to a veteran, hey, we're okay, right? It's a little bit easier to communicate.
Yeah.
If it's a non-veteran, a lot of times our veterans feel like they might not be heard, or they're being treated differently, and they feel like, hey, I'm a veteran who has veteran care that I can avail of. Why would they be treating me like somebody that might not have any insurance, for example, or like I'm begging for help?
So every hospital, including GMH and GRMC, I worked with the people over at GMH that did this. There's always a guest relations officer. They're not necessarily dedicated to veterans specifically, but their job is to handle questions, concerns, complaints, grievances from patients might have about things, and help them navigate the system. It doesn't mean that they're going to be able to help resolve it or give them an answer, but they're there to help them figure out where to go and who they need to talk to for those specific problems. So if you are in the hospital, don't be afraid to ask for a guest relations, or and some hospitals call them patient advocates as well. And so don't be afraid to ask for somebody like that, because at the end of the day, you are your own best advocate when it comes to your medical decisions, including at the hospital. So asking for the help is really important.
All right. And with regard to, like, if you're a veteran who has the VA healthcare paying for some of your services there, right? Our hospital wants the money, right? I mean, we're not wanting the payment. We want the payment from the veterans.
Well, everybody wants the payment.
Oh, okay. So that's probably like, a no-brainer, right? If we go there, the folks there want us to come there, especially if we're covered through the VA, because the VA will pay that service into the hospital.
Yes.
So we're a category of people that, if we need help, right, and we have the VA insurance, right, shouldn't your hospital be inviting us in and saying, hey, here are the services we provide if you are a VA healthcare recipient, right, and you're able to avail of these services, you're welcome to come here. We don't have to fly off island if we have it here, right?
Yeah, I think part of the problem comes with we have a lot more services available on island than we used to. A lot more specialists have popped up in the last 5-10 years that have actually dedicate either all of the year or part of the year to Guam, and so we can actually get some of those things. But when it comes to specialists, right, especially that's where people really need the intensive care when it comes to cancer care, cardiologists, all of those things. The services, even when we have them, are much more limited because we have a long wait list for a number of those things. And so people, especially veterans, go and try and seek some of those services either at Naval Hospital on island or things, or will go off island because they can get in a little bit faster. And sometimes they also just don't know what's available outside of the veteran circles. Right. What's available at Navy Hospital if you're in Guam and you've frequented there for years, right? You're familiar with it. But I think actually reaching out into the community and actually looking at the providers that are both in clinics at the hospitals and private clinics now, because even some of the specialists that practice at GMH also see outpatient patients in an outpatient clinic on their own. They've also opened up the separate clinic to handle individual cases.
Very good. And this is interesting, right? So what this tells us, right, is we have the big VA system, right? They have some funding. So we have Dr. McDermott, who's in charge up there at the Guam CBOC, right? Now, are you aware of any reason why we shouldn't be sitting and communicating with them to ensure we're not duplicating services? Or, for example, if the CBOC doesn't have the services and you don't have the services at GMH, for example, wouldn't it only make sense that we sit down and say, hey, our veterans need this care, right? You don't have it at GMH. We don't have it over here at the CBOC. Should we maybe take steps to maybe bring somebody here if we really need that, rather than fly us off island to Hawaii? You know what I mean? Isn't that costing the VA money to send our veterans from here to another place rather than seeking this doctor to come in here to our island and provide that service?
So I think part of this is just a question in cooperation in medical services, right? Because the other thing, too, is duplicating services, if it's available in the private market, right, it doesn't necessarily make sense for the military to prioritize that. But if it's available in the military, you might actually still need that for the non-military population, in which case you might need to duplicate that service, for example. But when it comes to cooperation, federal rules over the last number of years, especially on their providers like the people in the military, have increased a bit, because I know a number of providers that are here that have got to Guam as military doctor or military practitioner and then have stayed, right?
Yes.
When they got here in the military, actually how they got into the private community was they started moonlighting on their nights and weekends. That's a lot harder to do under military regulations now.
Right. Oh.
And also dealing with getting licensed through the Guam Medical Licensing Board or the Nurse Licensing Board, all of those things create an additional hurdle that there are some efforts to standardize, particularly with reciprocity of licensing, but you do have to then go and get recognized for your medical license in Guam in order to moonlight like that. So there's a little bit of the moonlighting, as we call it, that still goes on, but there's not as much of it as there used to be. And so I think actually if we could find better partnerships so there is more sharing of the doctor resources, again, it would be helpful.
Do you find that doctors just don't want to come work here, or do we have some doctors here?
We have some doctors here.
We do, right?
Yeah.
And they work at GMH, they work at different places, right? GRMC. So doctors do want to come to Guam to help the people on Guam.
I think that's actually true with every profession, right? I'm a lawyer, right? Guam is the most under-lawyered jurisdiction in the entire United States. So as your veterans or anybody else are going out looking for even basic legal services, it's really hard to find somebody that'll do it.
Right.
And then it's not cheap to get it done because the lawyers are so busy, so whoever's going to take it on is just going to give you what their standard rate is. What we find, though, is people actually want to come to Guam, but we've created some systems that make it really hard to live here. High costs of living, high housing costs. And a lot of these people are leaving family and loved ones in the States, too. And so we don't create a system that allows them to even go back and forth very easily to spend time there and come here for part of the year.
So we probably need to incentivize them, right? We need to also maybe express the need out here, right? Because, I mean, you know, if we're wanting doctors to come to this island, right? And I know doctors that want to be here, but I think there's something else going on, right? I think there's a certain pot of gold that, you know, certain folks are, hey, this is my pot of gold. I don't need anybody else to be coming in, starting up a business. The problem with that is after they've been doing this for X amount of years, they're getting older. They don't want to do the work anymore. They're like, hey, you don't pay me enough. It's about time for me to get out of here. I don't want to provide service. They don't take it upon themselves to go start finding people to be their replacement because they're just sitting there saying, pay me and me only, because it's about job security. It's about, hey, if I'm the only game in town, I get to drive prices up a little bit more, or I get to determine where or what I do. Now, what can you tell us about something like that?
So part of that exists because Guam just is a small market, right? Like, and it is easier, I say, to get like a monopoly over a little industry. And we do make it harder for people to come here with that. But then we also like to complain a lot about how much professionals make. How many times do you hear in the news like complaints about how much your doctors or lawyers or stuff are making? But here's the thing. If you have a cardiologist, right, somebody that's gone through 10 years of training between med schools, residencies, fellowships, right, or an oncology doctor, same type of thing. You're looking at somebody that in the States is demanding, like the market will pay them like $1.5 million a year.
Yes.
Why are they going to come out to Guam, which is already inconvenient for a lot of people, given if their family's in the stateside or if their family's maybe even in Europe, the Europe-trained doctors that come to the States too and other places. Why are they going to come to Guam to make less money? It's going to be farther away from things, and they're going to be making less money. We're not economically incentivizing that,
and we're not finding the solutions to keep them here, right? Because I mean, I'll tell you what. When I joined the service, you're only required to get 4 hours of sleep. That's it.
Yeah.
So if I tell you get to work, you will work until I say you're done. Go get 4 hours of sleep. Get your uniform on and get back to work. So we have some folks here who are doing that now. What I'd like to say, though, for all those that don't want to get paid more, there are people that still want to come here, number one. And the reason why they have to take care of the veterans, because had that veteran not gone and served his country, the freedom to do what they're doing and, oh my gosh, I need to get this high pay and beautiful house and beautiful, you can have all that.
Yeah.
But how did that come here? That came from you being able to live under freedom that was provided to you on the backs of these veterans that have gone and served their country, and the nerve of us to not want to take care of them. I mean, I'm just asking that question, right? Could we maybe find a way to take care of them? And I'll share one more thing before I let you talk. We have a potential conflict in this area, right? And our Congress went and found billions of dollars to get Camp Blas built. Thank you. We appreciate it. We love you. Today, we don't have potential veterans on this island. So if anybody out there is listening who's a congressman or anybody who's out there that's wanting to do this, we don't have potential veterans on this island. We have real, actual veterans with issues that need to be taken care of. So I'll let you finish that up now.
No, and actually, I think this is something like one of the big talks that's been going on, like within the government in the last number of years too, is building a new healthcare facility. And there are, here's the thing: I'm not an expert on how and where the healthcare facility should be built. I have my own personal ideas on it, but I think that there are a lot of good faith, good-hearted people that are involved in that debate and involved in those things. But what I also think that we have kind of gotten in our own way sometimes is every time that we make some progress with the military to help us build these things, even the federal government and military were at one point going to give us a big piece of land to do this on, and we blew it up.
Yes.
And you know, it doesn't mean that that particular thing was a perfect solution, but it was a lot of money and a lot of resources that we were going to get from the federal government. And we don't get those opportunities every day, every week, every year even. Yeah. And we need to actually leverage those opportunities because the military is pouring a bunch of money in now.
Yes.
And the cost of the new hospital is going to pale in comparison to how much they're putting in for like Camp Blas and other military investments that we should be leveraging more of that. And I know, you know, the governor, senators are actually trying to do a lot to leverage that, but we spent a lot of time standing in our own way.
Right. And I guess, right, with that being said, right, I mean, I guess at the end of the day, right, when we get our veterans, when they were in the service, right, they don't get to voice a lot of their concerns. And even up until today, right, the culture for them is not to complain, right? It's to like, hey, this is who's in charge, this is what's going on. But a lot of times, the people that are in charge aren't looking at, hey, how do I take care of the veteran, right? They start prioritizing a lot of things. If it's something to do with the little kids, you ask a veteran, should I help the little kid or should I help you? What do you think a veteran's going to say?
They're going to say help the little kid.
Help the kid. If they say, well, should I help the manamko or should I help you? What do the veterans say? Help the manamko.
The veteran is actually almost every time going to say help the other person, no matter who's on the other side of that question.
And you know, right, like today, right, we're begging for tourists to come into this island. Today, right, we have veterans on this island that if we put money in their pocket from their compensation and if we push them to register at the VA clinic, right, the numbers of resources that could come in is what's going to be helping us to grow our tourists through our veterans, since nobody wants to come here. Let's take these things and use them to help our veterans to get what they need. Number one, afford jobs to people, improve our economy, and do other things that will help us. Anyway.
I think it's time for a break.
Is it?
I think so.
All right.
Yes, Jose, I think
break
so.
Break time?
It's up to you.
You're listening to Veterans with Benefits on 93.3. We'll be right back.
All right.
Boss 104, The Point, Star 101, and Lotte Hotel Guam present the 2026 Island Wedding Expo. Mark the date, Sunday, June 14th. Join us as we showcase an abundance of elegant choices for your special day. Table spaces are now available, but hurry, they're filling up. If you're a business that caters to all things weddings, from coordinators, florists, cakes, photographers, and more, call 888-7346 and connect with Doris, Shanzi, Daryl, or Michelle. For more information about the 2026 Island Wedding Expo, call 888-RDIO.
It's Lent, and seafood season is in full flavor at Mezcla Chamorro Fusion Bistro. Dive into our limited time Lent specials, like crispy fish tacos, salmon loco moco, or our lobster pad caprao pasta. Visit us for lunch or dinner this Lent season, because tradition never tasted this good.
the return music is fun. Let's read some of the comments we have online. And I think, Jose, you want to check the YouTubes? Because I know Chuck's going to get mad at me.
He's on Facebook.
Some of the comments we have:
He's
Brennan
okay.
Fausto, Guam flag, U.S. flag, a salute.
Hey.
Raymond Shinahara in studio. Happy day,
Hey.
everyone.
Off a day, everybody.
Wow.
Charlie Hermosa, Tony is alive! Exclamation point! Exclamation point! Exclamation point!
What's
blah, blah,
up,
blah.
Charlie?
Charlie Hermosa, Semper Fi, guys. Charlie Hermosa, how are you, Jordan? Charlie Hermosa, Jordan knows all the secrets in the hospital. Brendan Fausto, good evening, gentlemen and lady veteran warfighters. Jose Martinez, salute. Good evening, brother Jose Martinez. Elizabeth Mendiola Kichichu watching. Joseph Ramos, Semper Fi. Good evening, veterans. Welcome back, Anthony. Frank and Chris Tidigui, buenas, Anthony, Ray, and Miss Karina
Frank and who?
listening. Frank and Chris Tidigui.
Frank and Chris. Oh. What's
Buenas,
up?
Anthony, Ray, and Miss Karina listening while repairing Air Force One.
Oh, wow.
Why are you
Hazard,
saying
hello.
Frank and
there you
Chris?
Ken Paulino, good evening, HMI. John Mendiola, buenas todos. Yes? Yes?
Yes, no.
Oh.
Oh, headphones?
No. Headphones?
You-
What? Me? No, I'm okay. Why, did you have a call?
I
Phone
don't-
call?
No.
Is that what he's saying?
Never
Jose's
mind.
reading
You
it
guys
to-
can't
Oh,
hear me.
hi, Jose. What is he saying? What is he saying?
Your headphones. Put on
Oh,
your headphones.
He wants me to put my headphones on.
Yes.
Yeah, he's talking and you're not listening.
Oh, sorry.
Are you kidding?
She's
I
charging
was
her
charging
headphones.
my
I
earphones
know.
because they
Air
died.
Force.
Air Force.
They died halfway.
She was waiting
Okay,
for
I'm
someone
back.
else to charge it for her.
No PCCs and PCIs.
That's the
come.
Air Force. No, that's all right. I just didn't know if you could hear me or not.
Wait, hold
That's
on.
good.
There. Sorry, technical difficulties. Can you repeat that? Sorry.
I said I just didn't know if you could hear me.
Yes,
or
I can
not,
hear you
but
now.
We're good.
That's all?
That's
it?
all.
We're good?
That's
I
it.
just wanted to know why Anthony kept saying
Very good.
Frank
Thank
and
you,
Chris.
Jose, for keeping them in check.
Oh, because he was just messing around because they're part of our HMI team.
Yeah, but he's not a monster.
So he likes to just, yeah. And then the Air Force One is my car. Thanks, Frank, for getting my car ready. He's fixing all these parts, and I don't know what they are or what they mean, just that he's fixing all these parts.
He's busy.
Yes. Thanks, Frank. All right.
Any more people?
Oh, well, I did want to, before we go any further, we are on KOAM right now. If you're watching KOAM News,
is it?
our 1 hour podcast is
Hey.
airing right now.
Very nice.
The producer who did our podcast is saying, hey, can you give me some of these last minute details? I said, yes. Is it airing tonight? He said, yes. So we're airing right now on KOAM.
Lots of good information.
Yes, a lot. And so one of the things I want to share before we go any further is tomorrow is the veteran nonprofit organization HMI's 50th benefits boot camp.
50.
I hope it's going to be huge. We talked to the mayor, Vinod Lahan. He's going to have some good food. We're going to have cake. You're going to be able to meet the founders of HMI. Anthony's one of them.
Yeah.
Brian Hahn, Bill Salisbury, and Matt Truffers.
Awesome.
Veterans, come on down, help us celebrate, 50. When I found out about HMI, I think you guys were just in the beginning, right? We did some of the outreaches with them, right?
Yeah.
And then I attended boot camp number 8, and then officially joined HMI at boot camp 14 and been with them ever since. But amazing information. No matter where you are in your VA claims journey, whether or not you have a VA claim going or you got denied or you don't even know that you have access to VA benefits, because some veterans say, well, I'm not a veteran, I don't qualify. Well, who told you that lie? Well, I don't want to name any offices, but some veterans are being told they're not veterans. So please come down. We teach you, all about your benefits. We go over the law. We go over 38 CFR M21-1. We give you sample required forms. The third day, we go over what to expect after you file your claim. We do some hands-on exercises. You're going to hear testimonies from other veterans because, I can only stand up there in front of the class and talk so much, but unless you hear from an actual veteran that went through the process, then, it really doesn't mean much. But come out tomorrow, March 10, 11, 12, in around Mayor's office. Starts from 5:30 to 8:30. Don't worry about food. We have our flyer up there. If you've never registered, just scan the QR code, or you can give me a message at 671-682-7631. Or you can email us at veterans.hmiguam@gmail.com. Or you can go to the website, hmiguam.com, and then we'll send you the registration flyer. So please come on down this week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 5:30 to 8:30 p.m. And if you are like watching TV, if you have more than one device, hop on a KOAM because our podcast is live right now.
That's it?
Oh, yeah. That's a lot.
You were about to say something before we jumped on. What was it about?
Well, I'm always about to say something.
Very good. So say something nice.
I think what we're talking about off air, though, is like, how do we, like, so you were talking about how we have, we don't just have potential veterans here, right?
Yes.
But we actually have real veterans. And I think that's true. Guam has, per capita, of all the jurisdictions in the United States and elsewhere, has one of the highest, if not the highest rate of veterans that are living within our community. And that's really important. But you said we don't have potential veterans here. Actually, we do. We have a lot of them. We have a lot of young people that will go into the military, right?
Yes.
And
that's right.
And
There
so but we actually want to incentivize that. We want, and whether it's the military or other forms of public service, we want to find ways to incentivize people to give back to their communities and operate in a way that provides that public service. And the military is a really important way to do that.
Right.
And so, but how do we actually do that? We do that by modeling how we treat our veterans over their lifetime, not just while they're in the military, not just the housing benefits and other little pays that they get, but also how we take care of them after they're out of the military.
That's right. And then that's very key, right? Because if you really consider what you're saying, right, if we're not providing them with the best care, right, why would somebody else want to join the service when they're seeing how poorly they're being treated? You see what I mean?
Yeah.
They're homeless. They don't have a place for them. They don't have, a hospital for them. They don't have other things for them. So we really got to work on that. Now, you said sometimes we get in our own way, right, when it comes to getting things done. And maybe that's where we really got to start analyzing that, right? When the laws get in the way of justice, right, maybe that's also something that we really got to pay attention to.
Yeah, and Karina was like advertising the Veterans Weekend, and I think that's fantastic because there are a lot of laws in signing up. She's citing the CFR over there. Karina, do you even know what CFR stands for?
Code of Federal Regulations.
Okay, great. But what most people don't understand, I know people that'll rattle that off and then look at me going, I just says CFR right here.
Military language is acronyms.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. But that's the thing. Most military people only speak the acronyms. They don't always understand what the acronym means. And so, but like the Code of Federal Regulations is a whole nother body of law.
Right.
So like Congress makes statutes.
Right.
Congress does not make the Code of Federal Regulations. Federal agencies make those things.
Okay.
And so what you have to do when you're navigating these things is you have to look at what the statutes passed by Congress. You have to look at what all the regulations in the CFR that might come from like the Department of Veterans Affairs, the ones from Health and Human Services that might deal with health care in the veteran community. And it's a big, complex thing. I'm a lawyer, and I don't even understand how all of it operates in every area of the law, right?
Yeah.
But there's a lot of complex things. And so having people that actually know these things and know how to navigate very specific portions of it, like signing up for VA benefits, navigating VA disability determinations and other things like that. It's really important. And just because if you're a veteran and you're looking through some of those things and you feel lost, please go ask for help, because the system in some ways is designed to frustrate people because it's supposed to only help people that have meritorious claims. And so, but oftentimes it frustrates people that have the disabilities because they get weary of it much more quickly than people that don't have the same disabilities and other medical issues. And so don't be afraid to ask for help on those things from other veterans, or find your friend that's a lawyer. I am the friend that's a lawyer on the show today. So, but like, come and find people that actually can help you navigate those things, because what you'll find is once you start asking questions from people that have a little bit of knowledge, a whole world opens up on how to deal with those things, because there is a lot of law that's made on that.
And that is another avenue when it comes to filing your benefits, is, creating a case and then presenting it, as a court case, right?
There you go. Yeah. And so you talk about how difficult it can be to navigate the system, right? The 526EZ form, right? This is the form that you use to process your initial claim, right? That document has 9 pages of instructions on it.
Oh, is that a federal government form? That is a short list of instructions.
Well, you need nine pages of instructions to fill out 6. I'm like, wait a minute. Shouldn't it be the other way around maybe, right? But, something like that kind of tells you just how tough it is, right? And even when you do these things, right, the raters and the folks that do the CMP exams, the examiners, all these guys are all from different areas, and they don't always talk to each other. So it makes it really difficult for the process already as it is.
And sometimes when you're filling out those forms, a lawyer is probably at some point, especially in complicated cases, going to be looking at this. And what the raters and other people are looking for, sometimes they're actually, like I say, magic words that you need to use on these forms, right?
Yeah.
And if you don't know what the phrases are or how to describe something
That's right.
accurately and appropriately within that form, and you're not using those quote-unquote magic words, you're going to be rejected even if you have a perfectly meritorious claim.
Right.
So here's the good thing. It sounds like you are a good candidate to become an attorney that will be helping our veterans in the future. So start studying up, go apply. You're going to have to do some CEUs or what are they called? Continuing education units for you to get in to become one, and then continue that every year. And then you might be able to assist with exactly what you're talking about.
And what's really funny with veterans and even service members, right? Because there are a lot of legal issues that confront all of them.
Yes.
That also just touch on regular things, right?
Yeah.
Like let's say you're in the service, or one of you is a veteran, one's in the service, and you want to get a divorce, right? They're so you go to Guam courts to try and process a divorce. There are separate federal laws because you're in the military that you have to contend with just to process that divorce, or process a child custody case, or to process, in some cases, criminal cases, civil cases, if you want to sue somebody and you get deployed. What happens when you're deployed and somebody's trying to sue you?
There are a few cases now that we're getting in a little bit to the law, right? So if you are trying to get a medical board or med boarded out of the service, right? One of the things that are really difficult, right, is if you're in, we've seen instances where the Guard and the Reserve are really just trying to offload the veteran as a problem that they have. And the bad thing about that is there are so many. These people are getting paid, and when I say they're getting paid, that means that their job is to determine what's going on with this veteran, right, or this service member. A lot of times we've seen they've deployed to combat, come back home, they start acting up, and because they're acting up, they're like, well, if I have to do this, I have to do this paperwork, I got to go follow him around and get him to get taken care of. Isn't that their job? You know what I mean? And it's just really disheartening to see that sometimes is the case, right? And just like the VA process, the med board process, a lot of times the service member just says, never mind, it's too hard, they won't do it. And, here's the problem. If you are the federal government and you sent this guy to combat and he's come home and you're just going to offload him into the community, right? You're really putting the burden on the local government. For example, here would be GMH, when in fact, if you properly med boarded this person, the federal government would be the ones to take care of them and allow for them to be cared for, because you put them in the service, you sent them to combat. It's your job to ensure that as he's leaving, that you take real good care of him so he doesn't become a burden for the local community. You see what I mean?
I do, and I think there are two parts to this. First, when it comes to any medical decision, again, I said this earlier, you are your own best advocate.
Sure.
So whether it's the med board in the military on your way out, or you're finding yourself in an ER and you don't understand something on a Saturday night, don't be afraid to ask questions and speak up for yourself, because we do have just as humans in general, and particularly amongst veterans, there is a humility culture. They don't want to ask for more than their fair share, right? And they don't feel, most veterans don't feel like they deserve anything or owed anything. But you're owed respect.
Yes.
And speaking up for yourself is a way of just reminding people of the things that you need to help being taken care of. And so it is not. It is. I don't view it as a lawyer that's worked in hospital settings and other things. I don't view it disrespectful when somebody speaks up for themselves. I view that as a very empowering thing. So I need to remind people: please speak up for yourself at every single stage of those. Just because it's hard doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. Because a little bit of difficulty now will set you up for the long term.
And with that, we're going to take a break. Listening to Veterans with Benefits on 93.3. We'll be right back.
This Lent, KFC Guam is your place for Lent with the largest selection of seafood favorites on the island. Enjoy the shrimp burger, wasabi fish sandwich, crab salad wraps, wasabi fish wraps, and island-inspired shrimp kelaguen. Craving something crispy? Dig into breaded shrimp, breaded fish fillet, and popcorn shrimp, or go all out with satisfying seafood dinners. So many choices, all made just right for the season. This Lent, choose variety, choose flavor. KFC Guam, it's finger-licking good.
Did you know lung cancer is the leading cause of cancer death in Guam? If you're age 50 to 80 and currently smoke, or you quit within the last 15 years, you might be eligible for GRMC's lung cancer screening. It's a simple low-dose CT scan which can detect lung cancer early when it's most treatable. Early detection can make all the difference in the fight against cancer. Call 671-645-5500, extension 4891, or visit grmc.gov to see if you qualify for this life-saving screening. Don't wait. Take action today. Lung cancer screening right here at GRMC.
And we're back. Let me read some of the comments that we have. Chuck Hazard. I do listen to you. We have Dolores Farron saying we're listening to. Hello, Dolores. Thank you. Chuck Hazard says half a day, and then he says she doesn't listen anyway with an eye roll. But
Wow.
let me try doing the emoji. I do listen, Chuck. I'm sorry. I have one device over here. He says, Chuck Hazard says, give them a reason to sign up for benefits. He says, what do veterans think of beans and barrels? Is it beans and barrels? Or is it?
Bombs and bullets?
No, beans and barrels.
Beans and barrels.
Beans and barrels.
Okay.
Congratulations to Charlie Hermosa and Cordero.
Yeah. Chewy.
Yes, for their new. So wait, it's a wine, coffee, and something else.
Food.
Wine, coffee, food. Yes, wine, coffee, food.
I think they're also trying to do whiskey. That's the barrel portion.
Oh.
But I think that's in the future.
Oh, okay. Well, we haven't made it there yet. We need to make it there one day.
Or have them bring the food here.
That's
and
right.
everybody taste it.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll invite him on the show.
Do you hear that?
Especially
Charlie
the barrel.
Hermosa, bring the stuff here and we'll try it.
I have
Give us
been
a good
over there
layout.
for both dinner and coffee.
Okay.
And they do have this bratwurst pizza that is actually like really delicious.
And they can make it
Well,
there. People can make it there because they close at 10 every night.
The German side of me with the Paulun last name, very German name, loves the bratwurst. So
nice.
And then Chuck Hazard said spam fries. That's something that they're advertising. Spam fries.
Yes.
Ham fries.
Very
Spam-
good.
spam
So I
fries.
wonder if we can get some of their food to be given away on our show to veterans,
Oh, yeah,
right?
that'd be cool.
Yes, they could
Yeah.
sponsor. Yeah.
And then we
Yes.
could rate it on the show,
Yes,
too.
exactly. So they'll give two, one to the veterans, one for the guests.
Yeah.
Right, Jose?
3, 1 for the booth.
I think he said yes.
Speaking
he
of
said
that,
one for the booth.
speaking of that, I think if we get a caller in the next 5 minutes, they're gonna win something.
Really?
Yes, from the jerk.
Oh, is that on?
Remember,
Did he
local
do it?
jerk. Remember?
He said
Local
yes?
jerk.
We're
Yes,
ready?
remember he said yes.
Oh, my goodness.
All
So
right.
if you want to call in,
Start dialing.
671-888-TALK to win something from the jerk. Anthony has to ask you a question. I'm not sure what your question's going to be, but
Ooh.
Anthony
What's your
can figure
fourth
it
general
out.
order?
That's a good one.
What is it?
Oh, they don't have
What's
that in the Air
your
Force.
fourth general order?
What? Hold on, my earphone's died again.
What is a fourth general order?
I shall walk my post from what?
Flank to flank.
And take no...
From any rank.
Ah.
No, that's the 12th.
Is that like an army thing? What is that?
Well, that's...
Really?
Sorry.
Really? It's every branch.
Yes.
Except apparently the Air Force.
That's okay. They pick on me all the time. It's okay.
So at the end of the day, the general orders are to constitute, no matter what, you're in service, you have these set rules that you have to follow.
Yeah.
So they like take charge of this post and all government property in view. You remember that? No.
I think so.
Oh,
Maybe.
no.
Name, rank, serial number. That's all you need to give them.
Oh yes.
And then take the
I know
beating.
that one.
So, all right. What else do we got to talk about while we're waiting?
You were. What did we talk about during the break? We talk about so many things.
I know.
It's like this. We never know when the red light is on. I know we wanted to talk about. There were some. Well, I mean the conflict's still happening. Everyone's up in arms about the gas prices, right?
Yeah.
Someone mentioned to me today that there's a comment about why can't the prices on base be the same as off base, right? But we don't control that. And then someone also made a comment that in the territories, Puerto Rico, Guam, right, that the gas prices are higher.
Oh, we got a caller.
We got a caller already?
There we go.
All right. So
now, you're going to have to.
Oh, but my
you guys,
thing,
yeah, because I can't.
Well, why don't Ray do it? Because my headphones died. Ray, you take it.
How do your headphones die when
you're
they're
gonna have
plugged
a
in?
question or something. Well, when they get on.
Oh, we got a caller?
Yeah, it's lit up, but he's talking to them.
Oh, he's talking to them.
So while we're waiting,
So gas prices, though, there's actually some easy legal things with this. The on-base gas prices are subsidized for that purpose, and so there's actually legal restrictions that prohibit them from selling it off base.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you ready, Ray?
Ray will take the caller.
Okay, and you're gonna have to ask a question, right, or something?
No, Ray can ask the question.
Okay, very good.
Hey, caller. Welcome to Veterans with Benefits.
Thank you.
Who's this?
I was wondering, I mean, it's related to the veterans because I got family members that are veterans.
Okay.
Although I'm not a veteran, but, remember, they say service, then family, then whatever the third part is for, because I'm not a veteran, so I don't know how it goes, the model, but, if, in order for you to do the service, you got to make sure your family's secured,
Absolutely.
Because the service member's not going to be on the straight line when he's back. They're deployed, wherever they're at, especially what's going on now. Remember, these are new generations here going on. Teenage. So when they see something, especially with some fake AI showing, false pictures of what's happening, I'm talking about they're saying war. It's not a war. It's just conflict,
Yeah.
For whatever reason it is, we don't know the whole story, but just, my idea of it, I mean, what I see, it's all about the money, oil,
Yeah.
and controls the oil is the power.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And also religion has a lot to do with it,
All right. So do we get the caller's name?
So the question I'm asking is with the deal with the gas,
Okay.
Yes, their gas is, it went up during the war. So that thing touches everybody, even the kids going to school, because you can't get snacks anymore like you used to because you've got to go to the gas.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to go to the power bill. Remember, GPA just lowered the power bill. They approved it, and look at what's happening. See, remember, and they're saying, oh, we're trying to go green. Remember all this rain that's not even rainy season? Whoever has solar power, they got issues, right?
Yeah.
Because not enough sun.
Yeah.
So, there's a lot of things that people don't realize it. They just go on with their everyday life. So long as I get likes and I subscribe and all that other nonsense, And that's what I wanted to know is if we military gets no charge on their gas or whatever, how they do it. I mean, for the tax in the States, the people outside, I mean, the people, right, they get charged for cheaper for non-road fuel, like fuel for the furnace, fuel for the farm. So it's less because they don't charge the road tax. Is there anything that maybe the government or the military can do to alleviate or help each other out? Because remember, we're just one island.
Yeah.
So gas is a big thing. And they just said it on the news that 90% of what we use here in Guam comes from the port.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever happened to, and this includes all the government agencies because you got agriculture. They're supposed to help, they're supposed to teach people how to farm. They should do it to the kids in the school.
Yeah. So this is Jordan. That gas problem coming in through the Port Authority, that is our only Port Authority, and by law is the only place that most of our shipments can come in. And so it's actually
Yes.
So it's actually it's a really big legal issue because only the government can run the Port Authority. And so unless you're coming in through the military bases or through the Port Authority of Guam, you're not getting any products in via ship. Those are the two places that things are going to come in.
That's correct.
Hey, caller, what's your name?
This is Ed.
Hey Ed, so since you're a caller, we got a little prize for you. We're gonna get your information with Jose. If you could stay on the line, we got some local jerk merchandise for you. Thanks for the call.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Okay. All right. And then
good evening, and thank you guys for your service. I got also son-in-law in the service right now.
Thanks,
All
brother.
right,
Appreciate
thank
it.
you. So maybe with that, right, Jordan, right, there are some things that the NDAA has included for the buildup here on the island, right, to kind of take care of things that, make it more difficult as a result of the buildup. But I don't know that part of that is giving us some money to subsidize fuel.
I actually think that that's probably going to be a backwards thing. The free market will take care of some of those prices. Part of the reason gas is so expensive in Guam is we don't pump our own oil here. We have to ship it in all the way from the States or Hawaii. Those are the places that it's coming from.
Yeah.
A lot of the times our shipments are really expensive because the trade route actually comes through Hawaii. Everybody likes to complain about the Jones Act, for example, driving up our prices.
Mm-hmm.
The Jones Act doesn't really apply to Guam. What it is we're a smaller market. And so what we end up having is one trade route through Hawaii, which is a Jones Act area. Right. So we end up paying those premiums, even though the Jones Act actually doesn't apply very specifically to Guam. We're not seeking an exemption from the Jones Act. The parts that might apply to Guam isn't actually going to change our prices a whole lot because it's more of an economy of scale problem than it is actually a legal regulation problem on those things.
Yeah.
All right. Well, and so I think we're winding down on time here. So this is going to be your 20 seconds of fame to say anything to anybody you want on the radio.
I've had my 20 seconds of fame. If you guys want to, if you guys have anything else you want to conclude with tonight, please do, because this is your show, and I want to say thank you guys for having me on. It's been a lot of fun. I will say though that I am in private practice, so if there are any veterans out there that need some help with things, feel free to call me, call one of your other lawyer friends. I'm not trying to hold myself out as the only lawyer either.
Sure,
I'm not trying to solicit business here because I am busy enough as it is, but.
Sorry. So Jose's my attention to the screen. So that's my niece from St. Anthony. They went out there to DC for her National Junior Honor Society. So congratulations to Verabelle Taitsino and her class. They went to visit out there. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thanks for the reminder, Jose.
That's great stuff for our young kids to learn those things. That's something our veterans need to be doing to try to get more eyes on what's going on out here, because it's at Congress where most of the money's at for us. So what about you, Ray? Any
Ed put up an interesting comment about AI that's being generated all online. Right. Hey, look, if you're going to be watching the news, watch it from some reputable stations. I know some of them are not that reputable, but stay off of TikTok and Instagram or any of those social media stations to get your news, because it will cause a lot of anxiety. And if you do have anxiety or you're worried about the war, if you need someone to talk to, dial 988.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Thank you to our producer, Jose. Thank you for coming on, Jordan.
Yeah, thanks, Jordan.
We'll see you guys next time. If you're not part of the solution, you are part of the problem.
And I say stay ready, stay informed, and as always, thank you for your service. We'll see you next week.
See you guys next time.
All right.
The Point is KUSG, Hagatna, Guam, 93.3 FM and 104.3 HD3.
As a result of his wounds sustained during an attack in Saudi Arabia on the second day of the war on March 1st. Attacks continue against Iran's Persian Gulf neighbors, Bahrain, Kuwait, and here in the UAE, the main target for Iran, receiving twice the number of drones and missiles as Israel. Debris from a drone that was shot down hit one of Dubai's famous skyscrapers, killing 2 Pakistani nationals below. Iran's foreign minister says attacks will continue